If I'd never met her, I wouldn't have to feel this way. Oh, the girl stopped in surprise. Suddenly, there were men behind her, too. Huh?
Mommy's right here. I'm right beside you.
Oh. How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here, back with some more Steins Gate 0. And last time, nothing bad as far as CERN happened to us while we went out with Kagari, but she did lose her mind. And she had kind of a mental breakdown because she started saying stuff like "cutits," and we took her back to the lab where she started having more of a breakdown, started remembering more stuff from Cutits' memories, and then we had Maho come over and we talked with her and Suzuha about ways of how to overwrite her memories with her old self to try and get rid of Cutits'. And Maho believes it's possible if we can figure out where her memories exist, her old memories, her actual self, so that we can completely overwrite her. Because she thinks we can also make the equipment to do the overwriting. So this is just one more step towards time travel. Oh yeah, we also told Maho everything, except for the fact that we killed Cutits. So we told her everything about time travel, so that hopefully won't be dangerous now, to her or to us. So with that, now we are in Maho's mind, so let's just get into it.
I can't believe it. No. But it's true, isn't it?
On the train back, Maho Hiajo was having trouble controlling her excitement. Two girls who said they came from the future. And Dintaro Okabe's story about the time leap machine. Normally, she'd never believe them. But if Cutits Makase's mind had made these things possible, she could accept them. Cutits was a genius. She just might be capable of it. To Maho, Cutits seemed capable of anything. And most of all, she'd seen it for herself. On the way back from the lab, Suzuha had taken her to the top of the radio building. Oh, so they did actually show her the time machine, okay. And showed her a real time machine. It was night, and she didn't have a lot of time to look at it closely, but she could tell at a glance that it wasn't made with modern technology. Honestly, she wanted to start work on making another one tomorrow. No, right now even. Yeah, figures. But she had something to do first. The time leap machine that Cutits had made. She needed to make an improved version. That meant she was going to be practically living at Okabe's lab for a while. Aw, man, we're getting the future gadget lab back together, just for a different reason, but it's gonna involve time travel, you just know it. Aw, man. So she decided to get what she needed from the office in Wako City. From outside the building, she could see that the lights were still on despite the late hour. Maho! As soon as she got inside, Dr. Leskinen rushed over, his face pale.
What happened here?
Uh-oh. The room had clearly been ransacked. Oh, so we're actually yeah, the events got moved around. Wait, so they weren't ransacked in this ending yet, were they? That happened in the other one, I think, yeah. Okay, so now we're actually getting closer to where she's actually in the ransacking now. Man. Of course, the place barely had anything in it to begin with, so with a quick glance, it was hard to see what had changed. but Maho and Dr. Leskinen's desks had clearly been searched. The drawers had been locked, but the locks had been broken and their contents spilled out. Dr. Reyes hadn't brought much of anything, fortunately, and so she'd escaped with very little damage. But her drawers had been dumped out too.
What happened here?
Someone broke in.
A thief?
It was like this when I got here. It might be espionage.
In an empty office like this?
Wouldn't it make more sense to hit the Riken Institute next door? Only a few people even knew this office existed to begin with. Suddenly, Okabe's words began to take on a new meaning for her. Could this have something to do with what he'd said? Was a secret war over the time machine already beginning?
Anyway, Maho, I want you to see if anything's been stolen from your things.
Okay.
Well, was anything taken?
No. Nothing of mine.
She checked the desk and the drawers, and couldn't find a single thing missing.
What about you two?
I don't seem to have lost anything either. I looked at my computer, but I don't see any trace of access by a third party. You're sure nothing was stolen?
Huh, interesting. It's kind of pressing that. I mean, it makes sense, but also, it's just I don't trust either of them, so it's like, I don't know.
Yes.
Come to think of it, Maho, what about your laptop? Was that stolen?
Oh, I left that at the hotel. It should be fine.
I see. I hope you're right.
Oh no, because we know that they ransacked that next, right? She had her laptop and documents on her before. Oh no.
What do we do? Call the police?
If nothing was stolen, it might not do us any good to make a fuss.
Whoa, huh? What do you mean? Oh, that's sketchy. Bro, that's insidious right there. I don't think so. Oh, yeah, people just came and ransacked our place. But, you know, just because they ransacked it, they didn't take nothing, so why call the police about it? Just let it go. What are you talking about? Come on, that's a tell right there, I think.
You're right. Maybe we should just wait and see what happens.
Maho wasn't sure that was a good idea, but she could understand that going to the police would be a big hassle.
So? What? What is that freaking thought process, yo? What do you mean, dude? That's very obnoxious. Not just, it would make sense from them, but Maho should be like, wait, we should, check out the police anyway, just because, I think that'd be the right thing to do. Why is she saying it would be a big hassle?
Especially since they weren't Japanese to begin with. And more than anything, Dr. Leskinen probably didn't want to lose time that could be spent on research. That all means nothing. You still always go to the police. The same was true of Maho, too.
Actually, Professor, I need a favor.
Dr. Leskinen agreed to give her a vacation much more readily than she expected. Maybe coming to the office over New Year's had paid off. Now she'd be able to focus on the time leap machine. Once she got back to her hotel room, she quickly got her things ready. She wasn't checking out of the hotel, but she needed clothes and other things so she could stay at the lab for a while,
Oh no, is the guy gonna be there and ransack the place while she's there like in the first route? Because she was there, she just wasn't in the room. She was just in the hotel or something, right downstairs. Uh-oh.
Okay. The last thing I need is...
Once she finished packing her bag, she grabbed another bag that was placed next to it. It was a laptop and portable hard drive that she'd gotten from Karitz's mother after her death. She tried many times to crack the password, but never managed to succeed. She knew that she wouldn't have time to do anything with it, but she still didn't want to leave it here.
That's right. Wasn't he...
After she made one last check of her things and got ready to leave the room, an idea came to her. Not a bad idea, if I do say so myself. Maybe this is what Karitz wanted? She quickly shook her head and chased the idea from her mind. Karitz would get mad at her. Life and death were like a binary, 0 and 1. You could be one or the other. There was no will that existed after death. Huh, okay, what's she thinking? If it existed at all. It existed inside the brain. Okay, back to Okabe. What is she planning? Dude, see, this is what I was worried about. Is she gonna do some freaking Dr. Frankenstein garbage here? Like, I don't know. I'm worried now. Several days passed, and I still had no idea who had planted the memories in Kagari's head. I went all the way out to talk to the priest who'd found her, and even questioned the locals in the surrounding area, but I had no luck. Suzuha seemed to be doing her own research. She hadn't been back to the lab since then. She was in touch with Daru at regular intervals, so I didn't think she was in danger. I asked Tenoji and Moeka again, but neither of them seemed to have any luck. In this world line, the lab hadn't even been attacked, which meant they might be up to something else. Even if they were, I had no way of even imagining what it was. But I was sure that someone had kidnapped a young Kagari Shina and experimented on her. And only recently had she escaped. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because in the first route, she was part of Leskinen's group of some kind. We know she's been in Victor Condria, so it's just matching up that maybe Leskinen knows something about her and he's just not saying anything somehow. I don't know. But that seems pretty obvious now. They had been planning something, and I was sure it was bad. We didn't have time to wait for them to act. But without any clues, there was nothing we could do. My mind kept going in circles, and I kept getting more frustrated and nervous with every minute.
Sorry to make you do all this for me, Maho. No, it's almost done. And I'm doing it for me, too.
Maho staggered out of the development room, sank into the sofa, and smiled sleepily. There were dark spots under her eyes. Aw. For the last few days, she'd been working on the device without any sleep. Her work needed to pay off soon, as fast as possible.
Anyway, I never would have come up with the idea of using a cell phone. And even if I had, I never would have actually tried it.
When you're talking on a cell phone, you always need to put it up to your temples, you know?
That's where the frontal and temporal lobes are. If you consider that the parahippocampal gyrus in the temporal lobe is where memories are stored, it makes sense, I think. The question is how we compress the memories, isn't it?
I'm working day and night to make that happen. Sorry, Daru. And you absolutely insisted that I not let them find out that I'm hacking in from this lab, so it's extra hard. I've got other work to do too, you know. To compress the memories, we needed CERN's LHC no matter what. Oh boy. Yeah, we're basically remaking the time leap machine right now. What if that's what Maho's doing? She's actually not telling us, but she wants to actually make the time machine. Oh no. I'm just thinking of all the possibilities of how this could go wrong. Okay. That one took a lot of thought. If we made an enemy out of CERN, that tragedy I'd gone through before would repeat. But the main reason that CERN had attacked us was the D-mails we'd sent to the past. If it weren't for that, they probably wouldn't have bothered. And since we weren't sending D-mails, CERN would probably never even detect us. Probably. Fortunately, Suzuha had the IBM 5100 that we needed for the hack. Things were coming together better than I'd expected. You know, Okarin, she's almost a completely different person now. You're right. I nodded at Daru. For the past few days, more of Kuritz's memories had been invading Kagari's mind. Lately, she'd even started discussing complex technical subjects with Maho. She was acting just like Kuritz used to when she lived in America. At first, Maho seemed put off, but she eventually adapted. Maho probably wanted to get details about the device from Kuritz, so it seemed to be helping. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
You know, even after seeing the time machine, I still can't believe you made the time leap machine in a lab like this. The idea of digitizing human memories and sending them to the past is an amazing one. You're brilliant, Maho. I'll say the exact same thing to you. Huh? You're a genius, and in the end, I'm just salary. Huh?
Watching the two of them, it was easy to fool myself into thinking that it was Maho and Kuritz talking. Hey, Kagari.
Oh, right. I wanted to ask about Amadeus. What happened to the project? Unfortunately, it was shut down.
Kagari.
Shut down? Why? Did Dr. Leskinen decide to do that? I don't know. The professor said the orders came from higher up. But it was going so well!
Hey, Kuritz.
Yes?
Oh, no.
Huh? What was I just...
You're Kagari. Kagari Shina, right?
Kagari Shina. That's right. I'm Kagari Shina.
Kagari suddenly put her hands up to her head, afraid.
But then, what are these memories in my head?
They're Kuritz Makase's memories, not yours.
I don't know what that means!
Kagari was acting completely different now than she was just a moment ago with Maho. She raised her voice like a child throwing a tantrum.
To me, these are all my memories. My memories with Mommy Mayuri, and my memories with my dad when I was a kid, and then my memories of the college in America are all inside me. I don't know which are real, and which are fake.
Her words turned to sobs. I could understand how she felt. From her perspective, it was all real. None of it was fake. It was easy to tell her to get a hold of herself. But it wasn't that easy for her to actually do it. I remembered what Kuditz had said when she'd finished the time leap machine. She'd said you could never put your memories inside someone else's mind. It would destroy their personality. But just if we were to leave Kagari like this, what would happen? There was a chance that her own memories would disappear and only Kuditz's would remain. If that happened, who would the person in front of me become? Would they be Kagari? Or would they be Kuditz? If it was Kuditz... That wasn't true. It was impossible. I couldn't even think about it. But the more I thought, the more I felt a horrible idea tugging at my mind, no matter how much I tried to ignore it. No, it's Okabe that's gonna want to do it! No! Either that or he's just thinking about it and he's like, no, I could never, and then Maho's the one that goes through with it or something. No, dude, this is... Oh no, poor Kagari.
Tell me, what am I supposed to do? Save me. Mommy. Daddy.
It would have been great if Mayuri was around. But unfortunately, both she and Lukako had gone to school. Both of them were worried about Kagari, and had told me to contact them if anything came up. But that didn't mean I could rely on them all the time. Kagari-tan, why not go for a walk to get your mind off things?
That's right. Humans have a tendency to overthink things when they're sitting still. It might be better to move around a little. Okay.
Alright, Okarin. Take care of Kagari-tan. Okay. The two of us walked out to Central Street together, but we didn't really have anything to do. This is when we're gonna get attacked, right? It didn't happen last time, it's gonna happen this time. I can feel it in my soul. The air outside must have made her feel a little better, because Kagari was starting to calm down. So, is there some place you'd like to go?
Can I go anywhere I want to?
Yeah, anywhere you want.
Then take me somewhere you went with Kuditz.
Oh no. What?
Take me someplace you went with Kuditz, Okarin.
Somewhere I'd been with Kuditz. Where could that be? The coin laundry in the neighborhood? Horin Park? Gyudan Sambo? I hadn't spent a lot of time with her at fun or romantic places. Oh, he's gonna take her to Radicon, right? The 7th floor. I'd spent a lot of time with her, but most of it had disappeared into many different world lines. I'd gone through that time again and again. But most of it had been spent arguing and working with her at the lab. We'd never spent any time going places to have fun. And we'd never made it to Aomori either.
Where did you first meet Kuditz, Okarin?
Where we first met.
That's where I want to go.
The place where Kuditz and I had met. It was... Yep.
Is this it?
A brightly colored building in front of Akihabara Station. The radio building. This was where it started. Yes, this is where everything had begun. On that day, the time machine appeared on the roof of the building. It was just after that when I met Kuditz. I could still remember it. The challenging look in her eyes. Thinking back, I may had already fallen in love with her then. But even though this was the place I'd met her, this was also the place where I'd...
Oh, Karin? What's wrong?
Sorry. Lately I'd been so busy with Kagari that I'd started to think I was getting a little better. But maybe I wasn't.
You're really sweating. I'm sorry. Is this my fault?
No, that's not it. It's just... Whenever I came here, I couldn't help but remember what happened that day. But... Let's go.
You're sure? You're not feeling good, are you?
I'm fine. I couldn't just stand out here forever. I couldn't keep Mayuri, Daru, and the others worrying forever. If I needed to get over it at some point, then...
All right. Let's go.
Something soft touched my hand. Kagari was holding my hand tightly in hers. Thank you. Kagari led me down the bustling street toward the radio building. My knees felt like they were about to give out at any second. Even after I'd gone inside, I was still doing better than I had thought I would. But I still didn't feel like climbing the stairs where it had happened. We took the elevator to the roof. Faris, aka Rumiho Akiha, had carefully locked the door to the roof so that no one who wasn't authorized could enter. I'd been given a key too, but today was the first time I was able to use it. The first thing I saw after coming onto the roof was a strangely shaped object. The time machine. Oh, he took her to the roof. Okay, yeah, they had some good moments there too. I was thinking the 7th floor, but...
Wow! I remember this. I came here in this thing.
Oh, okay, she remembers that, okay. Kagari happily ran up to the time machine. Really? You were kind of traumatized by it, so that's weird that you have good memories of it. It was right after she'd separated from Suzuha that she'd lost her memories. She remembered going from the future to this place in 1975.
The first time I came outside here, I was amazed at how pretty the sky was.
Unfortunately, it wasn't very pretty right now. But Kagari spoke as if there was an endless blue sky stretching out in front of us.
I didn't want to leave Mommy, so I stayed inside the machine and cried. I missed her so much. But Suzuha told me that I had to stop crying, and I couldn't be like that anymore. But I was still so sad. And then the hatch opened, and I saw the blue sky.
The sky in 2036 isn't blue?
Yeah. The war made it all black and dark, and they wouldn't let me go outside very much.
The mid-70s were right after the big economic growth spurt. Ecological concerns weren't as important as they are now. That was also when air pollution was a really big deal. The air probably wasn't as clean as it is now. If it seemed beautiful to her anyway, that must have meant the air in the future was really terrible.
Oh, Karin. Is this where you first met Kurtz?
No, this isn't it. This is... A cold drop hit my nose. Oh. Oh no, just like the time when it rained with him and Kurtz. Oh no!
It started to rain.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. Oh, no.
Okabe.
You're alive.
Right. I forgot I might run into you here.
What were you doing?
Thinking.
Oh. The rain had been falling then, too. When she'd learned that either she or Mayuri was fated to die, she'd come here and looked up at the sky like this.
Ah! It's really pouring. Okarin, get inside. Okarin?
What had she been thinking then? When she'd entrusted her fate into another person. To me.
Okarin! You're going to catch a cold. Hurry!
Kagari dragged me inside, away from the noise of the falling rain. Yup, I knew it. The 7th floor. I freaking knew it. I just knew it, dude. He might eventually take her to the 8th, but it just like, this is the floor when all the crap went down, you know? A few moments later, I found myself sitting there. The place was being renovated and none of the stores were open. The lights were off, too, and it made the place seem very gloomy.
Wow. That really surprised me.
That day, after the rain, Kudets and I had leaned up against each other and talked. And this was also the place where... This is it.
Huh?
This is where I met Kudets. Wait, no it's not, is it? You met her here first? No, I thought it was in on the 8th floor, right? It was cuz didn't she come up and walk up to us and she was just like, "What did you want to say to me?" right? That was on the 8th floor where the conference was happening, right? Nakabachi's conference or whatever. Isn't that where that happened? I thought that was the first time we saw her. Am I wrong? Or is he saying it's technically here because he ran into her from the future, which is what prompted her to come up to the 8th floor and say, "What did you want to say to me?" right? Because he said he was going to say something and then he ran off. Is that why he's saying this is the first time? Maybe that's why. Okay, I was going story-wise, but that makes sense, I guess. Strictly speaking, this is where I'd first met her in the Beta World line. That day, half a year ago.
What were you trying to tell me earlier?
Oh, maybe it was here. No, see, I remembered it on the 8th floor. Am I crazy? Okay. What are you talking about?
About 15 minutes ago, before the conference started. You were trying to tell me something, right? You looked really sad. You looked like you were going to start crying any second. Why? Have we met before?
Thinking back, that was the beginning of everything. I wished I'd never met her. If only I'd known this would be the result. If I'd never met her, I wouldn't have to feel this way. Oh.
Oh, Karin.
I felt something soft touch my face. Kagari.
Mommy used to do this to me whenever I was scared.
Why?
You looked like you were going to start crying any second.
Kagari patted me on the head again and again, as if I were a child. This is where I first met Kudets.
Here on the landing?
Yeah. She left a terrible first impression. The first time she met me, She was arrogant and spent a lot of time glaring at me. Not cute at all. Of course, she probably felt the same way about me. After all, at the time I was rambling about nonsense like organization agents.
But she still ended up being someone you cared about.
That's right. That was in the Alpha World line, though. Right after I'd met Kudits in this one, she'd...
My face looks a lot like Makase's, doesn't it?
How did you know?
Maho told me so. And so I looked it up on the internet, and I was amazed. Maybe it's fate that her memories are inside me.
Fate. It always was. Fate laughed at us. It toyed with us.
Hey, just hypothetically.
A drop of rain ran down Kagari's hair and hit the floor.
If I were to lose my memories as Kagari Shina, and they were all replaced with the memories of Kudits Makase, would I turn into Kudits Makase?
It's not that simple.
But what if it were? If that happened, would you be happy?
What is she saying right now?
If I became Kudits, would it make you happy?
Oh, maybe that's some of Kudits slipping into her head or something. It was the voice of the demon I tried so many times to ignore. I didn't want that. Or did I?
But I wouldn't like that, though.
Another drop of rain struck the floor.
I don't want to disappear. Not knowing why I was ever alive. Not being of any use to anybody.
Kagari.
What's going to happen to me?
Kagari was shaking a little. It wasn't just because of the cold.
I'm sorry.
No. I never did figure out what she was apologizing for. You're going to catch a cold. Let's go home.
Yeah. Just come in.
The first time I went into Lukako's room, it really did look like a girl's room.
Wow, you're both soaked. You'd better hurry and change.
Yanabayashi Shrine was closer to the radio building than the lab, so I decided to bring Kagari there. Mayuri had sent me a message on the way, so I had her come here first. I figured that Kagari needed Mommy Mayuri right now more than she needed me.
Mommy.
Just like I thought, the second she saw Mayuri's face, she relaxed a little.
You must have been so cold, right?
I'll get a bath ready. Lukako handed us towels to wipe away the rain, and ran out of the room to start the bath.
I want to take a bath with you, Mommy.
Okay, well, that's a little odd, but okay. Different culture, I guess.
With Mayushi? Sure, okay. But what will you do, Okarin?
Oh, I'm fine. You guys can go first.
Okay, thanks. Make sure you change so you don't catch a cold, okay?
I'll work something out. Maybe I could borrow Lukako's father's clothes? Just as I got up to leave the room,
Kagari? What's wrong, Kagari?
Something was wrong with Kagari's face. She was staring at Mayuri's face, confused. Kagari?
Who are you? Huh? Who are you? It's me, Mayushi, Kagari. Kagari? My name?
Kagari?
No, I'm... Who? Who am I? I'm... Ah!
Kagari tore at her hair and let loose a cry that sounded like it came from the pits of hell. Get a hold of yourself, Kagari!
Ah! It hurts! It hurts so much! It hurts! It hurts, Mommy! Help me! Help me, Daddy! Someone save me! Save me! Someone save me! Kagari!
She was like a puppet whose strings had been cut. All the strength left her body, and she fell forward. By the time I left Lukako's house, the rain had stopped. We waited for a while after that, but Kagari showed no signs of waking up. She looked peaceful as she was sleeping, so I decided to leave her to Mayuri and Lukako and head back to the lab. According to the two of them, she'd gotten confused several times in the past, but never like this. We might have underestimated how dangerous her situation really was. Her brain was probably under a lot of stress already. We needed a way to deal with this, and now. But for that...
I
Got
did it!
The second I opened the door, I heard Daru and Maho yelling. Really? I ran inside without even taking the time to remove my shoes. Oh! Okarin, perfect timing!
Okabe, you're soaked!
That doesn't matter. Did you guys pull it off? Mm-hmm. Daru gave me a thumbs up. Nice work, Daru! I'm a super hacker. This is nothing. He could say that, but I knew exactly how much talent and effort it took to hack CERN. Your average hacker couldn't do it. The name super hacker wasn't just for show. What about you, Hyajo? Were you successful too?
I'm pretty good at my job too, you know.
Maho stuck her thumb up just like Daru had. Wow.
Well, this was all thanks to the information you and Kagari gave me. In that sense, we were lucky that she had Karitsa's memories.
No. You were the one who did the work.
Thanks. I'll just accept the compliment. Now the question is whether it works. And the only way to find out is to try it.
You're right. I want 3 trips to Kitchen Jiro. Sure thing. Anyway, everything was ready. All that was left was to find out who they were. But that was still the biggest problem.
Phew. Okay, I'm going to get some rest. I'm pretty tired.
The sound of a ringing phone cut her off. Uh-oh.
Jeez, who is it? I'm about to go to sleep. Yes? Hello?
She muttered to herself as she took the phone to the back of the development room. So, how's Kagari-tan doing? About that. Just as I spoke, a Rhine message arrived. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Kagari woke up. She's calmed down. Got it. Sorry, can you look after her for a while? I'll contact you if I need you. It's not good, actually. She forgot who Mayuri was today. Seriously? That's not all. Right after that, she started complaining about a horrible headache and passed out. That's bad, isn't it? It is. We need to do something. But unless we knew who we were up against, there was nothing we could do.
What? You're sure?
Daru and I exchanged glances at the sudden voice from the development room. Mahotan, what's wrong? Did something happen? When we looked inside, Maho turned around in a state of shock.
Someone ransacked my hotel room.
Oh, okay, so it did happen, but she wasn't there again. Man, I expected her to be there. But she took the computer and stuff, right? So it wasn't there. The call was from the hotel. Maho was staying at a business hotel in Wako City. Sometime in the past few days, while she'd been staying here, someone had ransacked it. She'd left her key card with the front desk, but there were signs that the lock had been picked. She'd just given her okay to search the room. So, did they find anything?
They're just about to call the police, and they want me to come back and see if anything's been stolen.
Then they don't know what was taken? Maybe they stole your underwear.
I brought all that with me. Do you want me to sue you for sexual harassment?
Please don't.
My room's always a mess anyway, so it's possible that it just looked like someone ransacked it. If I wanted to be optimistic, that is. They said the lock was forced, so it's almost certain that someone broke in. Actually, the same thing happened to the office not too long ago.
Then it's not just a coincidence. Someone is after something you've got.
That's right. And I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Kuritz's laptop.
That. Putting all the pieces together, it seemed the most likely option. I could be sure that whoever tried to overwrite Kagari's memories was the same group that attacked her in the other world line. Whoever those people were, they were after the time machine theory hidden in Kuritz's memories. But since their experiment had failed and Kagari had escaped, they'd turned their attention to the other thing Kuritz had left behind. How did she escape, though? That's what I want to know. Did she escape on her own? I don't know. The laptop and hard drive that Maho had. But if they were after that, did that mean they had it now? Wait! Is that computer the one you gave me? What?
I really wanted to crack the password, so once I started staying here, I gave it to Hashida.
Then the laptop.
It should be safe, right?
Yup. It's in my secret hideout right now. But since I've been so busy with hacking CERN, I haven't had the time to analyze it. That made me feel a lot better. Now if only we knew who had broken into her room. But it wouldn't be that easy. Still, if they'd done something like that, they must be starting to panic. What would they do next? Wait a second. We may be able to use this.
Use it?
I didn't want to waste time explaining, so I just took out my phone and made the call. Several days later, Kagari's condition was getting worse. Oh, are we in Kagari now? Staccato footsteps echoed through the darkness. Akihabara got quiet early. The ever-busy electronics stores, the concert halls that were filled with cheers, and the coffee shops that were full of laughter, all of that gave way to silence as soon as night fell. A single set of footsteps walked slowly through the silence, never breaking rhythm. They belonged to a girl. It was dark, and so it was hard to see her clearly. But it was very clear that she was acting strange. She had a cap pulled down over her face, and was trying to avoid letting anyone see her as she walked. As if she was hiding from someone. As if someone was chasing her. And just as she was about to turn a corner, several men jumped out in front of her. The girl stopped in surprise. Suddenly, there were men behind her, too.
Huh? What the frick? What is this? Is she a sleeper cell, dude? No way. Has she been faking it this whole time, or was she just sleeping? What is going on? What is happening? What is this?
Kagari Shina, right? One of the men spoke. His Japanese was fluent, but if she'd listened carefully, she might have detected a trace of a foreign accent. The girl they called Kagari was helpless as they surrounded her. One of the men thought to himself, "This is the easiest job in the world." All they had to do was kidnap a single helpless-looking girl. There was no need to bring this many people. No, it wasn't just him. Almost everyone there felt the same way. Oh, she's gonna murder them. Stay calm, and we won't hurt you. The men gradually began to close in. The girl simply stood there, afraid, and showed no signs of resistance. This was too easy. Just as the man smiled and reached out his hand.
Oh! Ah!
He thought he heard the sound of something slicing through the air, and then he fell to the ground clutching his hand. It looked like 3 sausages lying on the ground.
Oh, she cut off his fingies, dude!
Before they realized that the sausages were the man's fingers, another man went down from a high kick to the head. The men began to howl in rage.
You little witch!
They leapt at the girl, swearing. But... one of the men who was trying to attack her from behind suddenly screamed. You need to cool it. You don't want to make a lot of noise either, do you? A huge man came out of the darkness, silhouetted by the moon.
No way, is it Leskinen? No! No!
Wow.
Oh, it was Mr. Braun! Okay, alright, okay, cool. Alright, sick. Holy crap. I was gonna say, I thought it was Leskinen because it said a huge man, but oh man, okay. Alright, okay, good. Good. But was he the one that did all that damage? No, because it was her. They swore at her, so... Oh, what the heck? Yo, what is going on? And Okabe's there, right? So what is happening right now? I don't understand. This is insane.
That was all I could say as I watched these tough men go down, one after another. I knew from his size that Tennoji was strong. It was the other girl that really shocked me. Her disguise ruined, Suzuha jumped around like a cat. Each time she moved, the men around her quivered. Oh, it wasn't Kagari! Oh, okay. What in the world? So it was Suzuha. They made a setup? I'm so confused right now. I knew she'd undergone combat training, but I had no idea she was this strong when she was serious. The kicks from her long, lithe legs were like a work of art. Not bad, part-timer.
You too, boss.
Oh, it's kind of cute. It's like how it was originally, except now they're fighting together. The men fell to the ground without even having the time to draw their knives and guns. Several days earlier, when I realized that the enemy was probably starting to panic, I came up with a plan. In the last world line, Moeka had told me that someone was looking for Kagari. I wondered if that was true in this world line too. So I asked Moeka to leak some information for me. A girl matching Kagari Shina's description came down this road at the same time every day. And today, a few days later, they'd all taken the bait. I hung back behind the corner of an alley, watching them fight. I felt kind of pathetic. But it was obvious that not only would I be of no help whatsoever, I'd actually just get in the way. So it was smarter to leave it to them. How are things on your side? I heard Daru's voice from the earphone on one of my ears. I'd called him and left the call connected so we could talk at any time. Is Suzuha okay? Is she hurt? Daru had been opposed to Suzuha's plan to use herself as a decoy. He must have been worried about putting his daughter in danger. Don't worry. She's a lot more amazing than you realize. Well, she is my daughter. But if she gets hurt, I'm going to hate you forever, Okarin. He'd be better off worrying about the people she was fighting. I suddenly heard a high-pitched whistle. At the signal, the men started to turn and run. They'd realized they'd fallen into a trap and decided to retreat. Sorry, not happening. Tennoji's giant arms grabbed one of the men's hands. But... there was a hollow popping sound, and the man's body went limp. No, they shot him?! No way. He was dead? He took his own life? Oh, he took his own life. Oh, okay. I thought they killed Tennoji. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was gonna make me cry. Okay. I like Tennoji, dude. I don't care. He's cool.
Uncle! He's coming toward you!
A piercing yell brought me back to my senses. One of the men was coming toward the alleyway where I was hiding. Our goal was to capture them and make them tell us who they were working for. If we couldn't do that, all of this would be for nothing. I ran out in front of the man without even thinking. My sudden appearance caused him to hesitate for a moment, but he kept charging without dropping his speed. I saw that he was holding on to something shiny near his waist. Ha! Just as he hit me, Suzuha slammed into him with a jump kick. Gotcha. The kick knocked him directly into Tennoji's waiting arms. Tennoji caught him easily, then spun the man's arms around his back so he couldn't hurt himself.
Uncle, are you hurt? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Okarin! What's wrong? What happened? Don't worry. Everyone's safe. Suzuha, did we get him? Something like a scream came out of his mouth. At some point, Tenoji had jammed what looked like a towel into it. He was probably trying to keep him from killing himself, like the last guy. Hey, cool it. You're the one who's gonna have a bad time if there's a fuss. And we're still only on the first one, wuss. We've got 9 more to go. Then we've got the eyes. Then both ears. The nose. There's a lot of fun in store for you. His voice was cold. This was the real Tenoji. This was FB. I wanted to look away, but Suzuha was watching without flinching in the slightest. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this either. You're going to tell me in the end anyway. So isn't it better to just get it over with now? Huh? Well, shall we go for 2? The man shook his head violently.
Is he breaking his fingers, yo?
Should have just done that to start with. So, who are you working for? Tenoji took the towel out of the man's mouth. He said something in a whisper so small I couldn't hear it. Tenoji's pallor suddenly changed. Stratfor?
Oh, Stratfor! Here it is. It's coming back. Oh no.
Hey, you're not lying to me, are you? The man desperately shook his head again. Stratfor, huh? That's going to be a problem. Stratfor? I'd heard of them. Back when I was into conspiracy theories, I'd looked them up on the internet. Their real name was Strategic Focus, I think. They were an American civilian intelligence company, sometimes called the Shadow CIA. They specialized in military matters, and their skills had supposedly been put to good use during the Iraq and Gulf Wars. If a CERN rounder like Tenoji said that they were a problem, they probably were. This wasn't going to be easy. But now wasn't the time for being scared. You hear that, Daru? Start hacking Stratfor's servers right now. Okie dokie. I felt myself starting to relax after I completed my first objective. But there wasn't time for that. This was where things really began.
What's wrong, boss? Something bothering you?
Nah. It's just that Stratfor's a civilian company, you know? That means somebody's hiring them. No matter how many of these people you catch, is it really going to solve the problem? It did seem strange, come to think of it. Hey, you. Are you really... Tenoji tried to wring the man's neck again, but... Dang it! He passed out. What a wimp. Tenoji sighed and took out a rope, then started to tie him up. Let me clean this up. You guys go. You're sure? This isn't the end, is it? I was a little curious what he intended to do with them, but... All right. We'll let you take care of it. I had other priorities right now. I said my thanks to Tenoji and hurried to the lab with Suzuha.
Uncle! Hurry!
I know. Suzuha ran through the night like a panther. It was all I could do to keep up. The path to the lab seemed far longer than it usually did. We finally made it to the lab. Mayuri, Faris, and everyone else were already there waiting. And Kagari, too. Kagari was lying on the couch in obvious pain. Her breathing was shallow. Her complexion was pale. Something bad could happen to her at any moment. Oh boy, here we go. Daru, how's it going? So he set, okay, I gotta stop to just talk for a second. So he set all this up a couple of days ago, so now on the 15th, so that he set it up with, he got information from Moeka to know that a girl looking like Kagari always walked through the same area, to know that we would dress up Suzuha as a decoy so that they could capture one of the guys, so that they could get information out of him, to tell him that that he worked for Stratfor, so that Daru could hack it, so that he could figure out go into their database and maybe find Kagari's memories to save her. That was the plan he came up with in a second right there. That when he was like, hold on, I gotta make a call. That was it? Because that's insane. I mean, it kind of worked, I guess, but it feels like coincidental that that Moeka was able to find out about Kagari, or at least someone that looked like Kagari going through there, right? But if that's the case, has Kagari been doing that every night? Is she still the sleeper cell that I initially thought that she was? Dude, oh man. There's so many questions now after that happened. That was just an explosion of information, dude. I could barely keep up. My brain was just trying to process everything. That's why I was just letting it play out. But dang, what the heck? Just a sec. I've got the route I used the last time I hacked it. Checking it now. The last time? Why did you do something so dangerous? It was a bet with a buddy of mine. We were going to try and see who could hack it faster. Winner got a year's worth of go-go curry. He probably had no idea how dangerous that was. Huh? You're not going to ask who won? From the way he was acting, there was no need to even ask. Just hurry. Roger. Since their plan to steal back Kagari had failed, there was a good chance Stratfor would resort to even more desperate measures. There was no time to waste. Yeah, and they don't have Tanoji now because he's cleaning up the other bodies, right? So, jeez. I don't know, man. I'm tense. I don't know what's gonna happen. And
Oh, Karin? You're not looking so good.
no, it's nothing. He got stabbed, didn't he? I forgot about that for a second. No, did he get, really hurt? And he's just not going to say anything until it's too late.
It's not nothing, Nia. Let me see, Nia.
Faris ripped off my coat.
Oh, no!
You're really hurt, Nia. Okabe, you're bleeding. Karin!
I tried to avoid looking at it, but there was a lot more dark blood staining the side of my shirt than I'd expected to see. When the man had stabbed me before, it must have gone in pretty deep. Oh. I'm fine!
You are not fine, Nia. Luca, Nian, get the first aid kit.
Okay. I'm okay. Forget about me. Mayuri, how's Kagari?
Kagari? Hang in there.
Kagari was still lying on the sofa, panting for breath. For the last few days, she'd been getting weaker and weaker. Oh my gosh. Her hand reached up into the air.
Mommy, Where are you going? Mommy's right here. I'm right beside you.
Oh. Mayuri grabbed her hand tightly, and she finally smiled a weak smile.
Mommy, tell me, am I just going to disappear? It's okay. Okarin and Daru will do something. Okarin? That's right. You know Okarin, don't you? Okarin.
Kagari's lifeless eyes turned towards me. Don't worry. Just a little more. Just a little more, and you'll be back to normal.
Okabe.
Huh?
Erase me.
Ah! Kagari. No.
Erase me from within her. At this rate, she's going to...
Those were Kuritz's words. Personality and memory were two different things. Just because she had Kuritz's memories, that didn't mean she had Kuritz's personality. But...
Please, Okabe. Erase me.
Those were definitely Kuritz's words. At least, that's how it seemed to me. I remembered what she'd said before. She'd told me to save Mayuri. She'd told me she couldn't sacrifice Mayuri to save herself. Maybe there was a tiny chance that Kuritz's memories would safely settle inside Kagari's mind. But even if they did, I knew what she'd chosen. She'd chosen to leave. She'd chosen to disappear. I had no way of knowing if the words coming out of Kagari's mouth were from another personality created by Kuritz's memories. But there was no doubt that they were Kuritz's words. Right now, she was nothing but a formless thing called memories. So why? Why even now, when she was nothing but memories, did she still have to suffer so much? Why did she have to suffer at all?
Oh. I'm sorry, Okabe.
Clear drops fell from her softly closed eyes. Daru, did you find it yet? Kuritz! I asked him to stop myself from screaming her name. Hang on. Just a little more. Just a little more.
This isn't good, Uncle.
Suzuha whispered to me as she looked out the window.
1, 2, 3. There's a bunch of them outside. It's Stratfur.
I knew it. I knew they were just gonna flood us, dude. I had a feeling. Oh, frick. This is bad. What is happening right now? We don't even have Tenoji now. Oh, man. But we don't have a time leap machine, so, what's gonna happen here? I don't understand. We're stabbed. We're dying. I hate this, dude. I don't like this. I don't know what's gonna happen. Daru! Okay. Come on, come on, come on. The tension was rising every second. Was he done yet? Why wasn't he done yet? Got it! Daru? Alrighty, I got it. Bingo! Lukaku and the others brought the treatment device over, but I motioned for them to stay back as I looked down at the monitor. Maho leaned over Daru's other shoulder.
Look at the files that seem the most important and pick the biggest one.
Wait, the big one? Could it be this one? But the file name is John.
That was Mozart's Christian name. That has to be it.
I don't get it, but okay. There are a lot of files inside it, though.
Let me see.
Inside the folder were several files labeled with codes.
There's more files. There weren't this many when we were doing the research.
Which meant that after the Amadeus program was shut down, it had ended up in Stratford's hands somehow. And they'd gone on to do more experiments with it. Yup, because Leskinen's still bad, dude. Because he's the dude that's part of Stratford, right? So he gave it to them. Ugh, this sucks.
One of these has to be Kagari's memory data, but...
K6205. Huh? K6205 is Kagari's memories, Daru. Co-shell number 620. The magic flute. K620. I found it! Now just do it like we talked about. Compared to Kuditz's time leap machine, the process was a lot simpler. Since the memory data already existed, there was no need for a VR headset. Or the phone wave. All we had to do was use the decoder program on Kagari's memory data, then use CERN's LHC to compress it. Then we transferred the compressed data and sent it to the cell phone.
Hurry! We're completely surrounded!
This is gonna alter the world line, isn't it? Daru, are you ready? Okie dokie. Okay, do it!
Wait!
I looked up and saw that Maho was staring at the screen, her features frozen in an iron mask. What's wrong, Hyajo?
Is this really going to work? If it fails, Kagari will...
I reached my arm around Daru's back and put my hand firmly on her shoulder. It'll be fine. I guarantee it.
Okabe... Uncle!
Kagari! I stepped away from the PC and knelt down in front of the sofa where Kagari lay.
Okabe?
Ready? Goodbye.
Yeah.
Kuditz.
Oh, frick! They're here!
Daru! Roger! The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs. The sound of the phone ringing. Oh no! I'm not supposed to answer it set for this ending, so I'm not. I shouldn't answer it, so I'm not going to. As all these different sounds filled the air.
Listen, Okabe.
The last thing she said was,
I think that I... loved you.
Whether those were Kuditz's words or Kagari's. Her words were cut off by the sound of the door and the sound of screaming. I hesitated. Not only did I hesitate to answer it, but I almost tried to tap the button to reject the call. Can I? But then Kagari's fingers cut mine off. And then her fingers, or maybe Kuditz's, tapped the button to answer the call. Wait, I wasn't supposed to! Wait! It said to ignore the call! Huh? Wait a minute! And then the phone up against her head stopped ringing. Frick, was that it? I don't know! Ah!